#1 contender Rafael Solis, next on HBO.
Plus a winning smile that the cameras and the people seem to love. It all adds up to a kind of show business magic. Imagination.
We in Manila.
The 76 Olympics produced Ray Leonard, who charmed the public with his sunny disposition and brought glamour to the little men. Now another charismatic star is rising in the boxing heavens, rising from the streets of New York and Madison Square Garden. He's grown from a boy to a flashy three-time Golden Gloves champion to the Garden's most popular young pro fighter. Finally to a matinee idol clad in red leather, all on New York's main stage.
I got what they like. It says like before fight, I just don't go away and be shaking. Nah, I go in, I start acting crazy, yeah, buddy, and I throw my little flurries. That's something that's colorful. You know, not everybody has it. Ali had it, Ray Leonard had it, and right now the way I'm coming up, I have it.
Manhattan's Harlem is a melting pot of cultures in a very tough part of town.
A couple of winners this morning, 92 KTU.
Out of it have come great champions like Sugar Ray Robinson and Carlos Ortiz. Spanish Harlem is populated primarily by first-generation Puerto Ricans, seeking, but not always getting, a better life. This is Hector Camacho's turf. If you lived on these streets, the chances are that Hector Camacho made you either cry or laugh. But it's doubtful you wouldn't know him.
I was always famous. I mean, I had a reputation of running around the street, you know, beating up guys and, you know, more of a, you know, bully-like. You know, I was never a skinny little kid. And, you know, I was always good with my hands. If you can make it in New York, you make it anywhere. That's plain fact. You make it everywhere. Out here, I walk down the street, and I see a guy just beating on a guy with a bat. I go, Jesus Christ. Hit him again. You know, that's our attitude. You know, we grew up with that roughness.
I seen that when he was a kid that he liked to fight. He was always in fights, street fights, alley fights, gang fights, school fights, family fights. This fights to be fighting, that's all, you know. It's in him, you know. It's like Michelangelo was born to paint pictures. Hector Camacho was born to knock guys out.
In Camacho's fights at Madison Square Garden, he showed dazzling speed and style, combined with a street-fighting viciousness that earned him a reputation as a spectacular showman, but also a dirty fighter. It's likely he has had as many warnings as knockouts.
I believe that it's nothing fair in war. You get rough, I'll get rougher. You know, I'll let you know I'm the boss. You know what I'm saying? You know, if I grab you behind the head and hit you with one hand, and I do it again, and I hit you again, I keep doing it. If you let me, I'll keep doing it. You know, it's like if you got money and you walk down the street, if I know you got money and you know you got money, and you know if you're going to pass through that, you're going to let me take your money, I don't take it.
An expert in survival in the ghetto, Hector Camacho used to steal the cars he can now buy.
I love cars. I started driving at the age of 14. Who's gonna let me a car? I don't got no license. When I want something, I'll get it. I need to take them, borrow it, take care of it. And one day when they run out of gas, I got no more money, I just leave it there.
Eventually, Camacho's game came to a halt. He was caught and put in prison for 3.5 months, and it changed him.
It wasn't fun no more. You know, I look at the walls and talk to myself. And then talk to myself and hey, look at me, I'm talking to myself. Look where I'm at. Oh God, please give me another break.
So life had a chance, you know, to show him that life wasn't, you know, that's a bowl of cherries, you know. That life was something you had to live and learn and be a man, which he learned how to be. And once you learned how to be a man, you learned how to be a champion.
Finally, God gave me a break, a 5-year probation. I told the judge I was going to do it. I'll become a world champion. I'm a world champion right now. And it's 1 down and 2 to go. I want to be a 3-time champion.
John Montez was a victim of Camacho's new attitude, which was to put his great energy, ambition, talent, and viciousness into the ring. He knocked out Montez in 1 round. champion Bobby Chacon then was stripped of his title for refusing to defend against Camacho. That set up a fight with Bazooka Limon for the vacated championship. Camacho wasted no time with Limon, attacking him at the very opening bell. He then knocked him down with a left at the end of the third round. And in the fifth round, Limon was finally overwhelmed by Camacho's speed, and after another knockdown, the fight was stopped. Camacho was champion. And now the self-styled Macho Man was in tears.
My last fight was just a moment of glory when my mother came, and just all that came out. My tears started coming down. Before I came, people was doubting me. You know, they never seen me fight. You know, so I kept saying, when they see me, they're gonna love me. And sure they did, boy. Hey, Macho all the way, you know.
He's risen to the top of a high-paying profession, but he still lives on the top of a low-income housing project. Lives in his mother's apartment with his brothers and sisters. The same friends, the same lifestyle. He's even more the pride of the clan and the neighborhood. Now he has the medals and the clippings as well as the money to show for it. And yet he's still the street-smart bully, now passing along a rather brutal lesson in survival to a very young nephew. And yet he has managed the rare trick of turning a very negative force into a positive one.
I don't know how he gets to sleep at night. He likes a lot of laughter. He's dancing all the time. He's got more energy than I could ever dream of having. He's got terrific speed. He's got great movement. He puts combinations together really well. He's always gets himself on balance. He's intense, and he's got a heart that big, and he's got this feeling that
tonight against a respectable, very experienced opponent in front of one of the toughest audiences in the world, Hector Camacho will have to prove himself again, as he has done every day of his life in the barrio. Barry?
And who is Rafael Solis? Well, that's a question you won't find the answer to in too many places, east, north, west, or south of San Juan, Puerto Rico. If he is to be known anywhere beyond this one Caribbean island, tonight will have to be his night.
Old San Juan, a city whose ties with the past remain virtually undisturbed amidst the presence of a modern age. A harmonious blend of different centuries. Puerto Rico, while a haven for vacationing tourists, is indeed proud of its boxing heritage. Boxing champions have emerged from here like so many cars from an assembly line. Tonight, Rafael Solis would like to add his name to an already impressive roster. A virtual unknown to many, but not to all.
Rafael Solis is an excellent boxer. He's undefeated in Puerto Rico. His left hand, he won, has a record of 25 fights, 18 by knockouts. He has more experience than Macho Camacho.
He had, from the last 20 fights, he has 16 knockouts, see? And he fight with anybody, see? Camacho, from 20 fights, he has only 12 knockouts.
He can punch, and from my point of view, he has a very good left uppercut. So for this fight, I don't expect too much difficulty for Solis to beat Camacho, really.
To be sure, opinions may differ, but not here in Rio Piedras, where Rafael Solis was born, raised, and makes his home today. These modest surroundings are in stark contrast to old San Juan and the Condado. Because of this, his desire to win is overwhelming, both for himself and for his family. There are those who would say that he's undisciplined, that he lacks a proper manager-promoter, and has been dealt with harshly by the boxing world. But Solis feels tonight's matchup should have taken place last August.
Primero yo que Camacho. Me sacaron para poner a Camacho.
I was number one before Camacho, and they took me out to put him in, and then there was a contract that said I was going to fight Camacho for that position that I gave to Camacho. And then they took Limon, who was number 5. I was number 2, and Camacho won. And they had an elimination bout, Limon Camacho. I never thought they would fight for the title. That upsets you. I have fought with faster boxers than him, people who know more. Why should Camacho's speed be a problem? He's the one who is always fighting with slow fighters. That's why he looks so fast. I think I'm going to beat Macho Camacho because he hasn't fought anybody important, and I have fought the world's best, and I think I'm going to be the world champion tonight.
But there are people looking at the record of Rafael Solis with an equally suspicious eye. Regardless of their past records or previous opponents, this dispute will be settled in the ring. A little more than a year ago, Solis had little trouble putting away Aquilino Asprilla with a knockout in the 6th round. Later, he sent Joey Mays to the canvas in the 2nd round. And this past August, Solis defeated Benny Marquez on the same night that Hector Camacho became a champion.
Camacho, he thinks, and he have said it in Puerto Rico, that he is the new Sugar Ray Leonard. And maybe he should wait a little bit just in case, because you never know. You never know.
Solis has already come into the ring, and Ray, this is significant, I think, because he has been noted as a slow starter, and he's already been in the ring for a full 5 minutes, so he's been made to cool his heels, waiting for Hector Macho Camacho.
Well, there's pressure now sitting there waiting for Camacho, and I have a little brief scenario. I think if Camacho rushes out the very first round, it could be a very fast fight.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers on Rafael Solis. He has not lost since 1977, and one of those 2 losses was in his very first fight. He was knocked out in the very first round, came back to knock the man out who knocked him out. He has a no decision and a no contest. He looks very calm.
Well, he looks composed, but again, we'll see what's going to take place in a second.
And coming out of the locker room now, making his way toward this arena. It'll be interesting to see also just how the crowd responds. Most of the conversation before the fight was that the crowd would be pretty well mixed between these 2.
I would agree. I think it's going to be 50-50, Barry.
We've heard this chant before. We heard it with Aaron Pryor. With him it was Hawk time, and with Hector Camacho it is Macho time. As he makes his way, and the crowd has not yet seen him, which is why the crowd is as quiet as it is right at the moment, just kind of sitting and waiting for Macho Camacho to make his entrance here. You were in his locker room before, and you were saying it was a very lively scene.
Talking about being loose, Camacho was dancing to Michael Jackson, and Solis was just having his hands wrapped.
Camacho still making the long way. You can see him very animated. That's sort of his act. He has said, and you heard him say in the feature that we ran earlier, that he likes to play to the house, and he's certainly got a crowd to play to here. And I'm not sure it's a crowd that's completely on his side either. Now the crowd's starting to recognize him, and as we mentioned earlier, it is perhaps even more than 50-50. It is rather lopsidedly in the favor of the challenger, Rafael Solis.
And crowds are so fickle, and we'll see what's going to take place once the fight began.
So Camacho, with his handlers around him, Don Thibodeau, Billy Giles, Tony Tompkins will be in his corner, no relation. And now the crowd starts to acknowledge the presence of the champion, Hector Macho Camacho. You have to say one thing, his act is unique.
I call Camacho personality kid. He has this type of charisma that is television made.
Now you were saying, and we touched upon this at the top of the show, that you were cocky, and you have to be, I think. Any good athlete who really knows his way around in any sport has a little bit of cockiness to him. But you were saying he goes you 3 or 4 levels better.
Oh, yes. In fact, he comes out, and he's giving the public what they demand, and that's showbiz.
And he comes into the ring, and I think we'll see a little bit of show business as soon as he does come in. Let's watch him. Macho Camacho, 22-0. He's got 12 knockouts, only 2 knockouts, however, in his last 5 fights. And he doesn't really consider himself to be a knockout type of fighter. By his own admission, he said, I'm a counterpuncher.
Well, it's his accumulation of punches that do take his toll on a fighter.
The story has been told on numerous occasions, how he sort of came from the ghetto and still goes back to the ghetto after every fight. Although he also has a place now that he doesn't tell anybody about, that he goes back to, that he calls his retreat.
I also noticed that he may be the first champion to have a ponytail. It's a new style, Larry.
And he is clad in pink and black shoes, pink robe, championship belt around his waist, clashes terribly with the pink. And right now, let's go up for the ring announcer, Luis Marrero, for the introductions of the fighters.
Y ahora, señoras y señores, el evento estelar de la noche. Aquí, presenta este combate estelar por el título de los Super Plumas.
A Super Featherweight Championship, as the announcements will be made in Spanish here.
Río Piedra, al contendiente número 1.
Number 1 contender,
Rafael Solis.
And Solis giving it a little of the Macho Camacho act here. Both fighters seem very loose.
En la esquina roja, el invicto natural de Bayamón, radicado en Nueva York, Hector Macho Camacho.
So Macho Camacho is introduced, and very much of a mixed review here from the fans.
Well, they've changed their minds, as I stated, as usual. Barry, this could be a very short fight.
Larry, a lot of people are saying
we should keep in mind that, and I don't know how good Solis is, but he's come from a boxing family. 2 brothers have fought for the world titles. One of them has won it briefly in the bantamweight division. He's been a professional fighter for 10 years. So he's got some background in boxing. And we just ought to respect that a little bit, at least until the fight starts.
And a lot of handshaking and very good sportsmanship going on here as we prepare to get underway. It'll be interesting to see, Ray, just how Camacho starts this fight. He knows he's in there against a guy who historically has been a slow starter. Opening round, they come to the center of the ring, and it's just rather an even pace to start. As a matter of fact, Solis is more up-tempo than Camacho at the bell.
Well, for Solis, he's going to have to keep that jab out there and keep Camacho off balance. If not, Camacho's going to rush in, try to get him hurt, and get him out of there.
And Solis playing a little game with Camacho here as he smiles at him. Camacho not particularly a stylish fighter, just a guy that gets the job done. And does it in pretty spectacular fashion. He is dealing with a man with an 8-inch reach advantage on him here. Not to mention 5 inches in height.
And that height and reach advantage could create a few problems for Camacho until he's able to figure Solis out.
And also, it's compounded by the fact that he's a left-hander.
Yes, and the fact that he must match Solis' jab. Slow his man down.
Solis has been able to get the jab in here early on. Solis trying a left-hand lead, very short.
You notice the way that Solis keeps that jab out there, Barrett. What can happen is a counterpunch by Camacho. Camacho, on the other hand, has to be very careful of Solis' left hand.
Solis drops that right hand after he throws the jab, too, and that could be very dangerous.
What they're doing is matching jabs. And this is what Camacho wants, to get inside, to slow his man down.
Solis is really toying with Camacho here, and that could be toying with fire.
Well, as long as he keeps that jab out there, he's going to make it quite difficult for Camacho.
He caught him with a right hand, and Solis, bobbing and weaving against the ropes, says, "I'm not hurt."
What we have here is intimidation on Solis' part. And he could very well frustrate Camacho with his height and with his being cute.
Very active first round, and the crowd here loves it. Right hand by Camacho. Solis bounces off the ropes. We want to remind you that we do have a translator with us, Enrique Sanchez, sitting with us ringside, and we will get an immediate translation of just what transpires in the corner of Rafael Solis, where, of course, the language there will be Spanish. We will also be going into Macho Camacho's corner. 15 seconds remaining in the first round. Very fast-paced round.
It's a good fight for Camacho because he'll learn how to be more technical with other fights.
There's a little bit of a butt there also. Camacho calls himself a street fighter. He says, "I came from the gutter. That's the way I fight." End of round one. Very up-tempo round.
Solis was very active and perhaps a little bit more aggressive than we had been led to believe he would be.
Let him attack you, and then you counterpunch. He's a bad fighter. I think he's tired. Let's see what happens.
Well, as you heard, his own corner wants Solis to slow down and not be quite so aggressive. Perhaps just a little nervous energy in the first round. I think we'll see him trying to be more of the counterpuncher now.
This is the second round.
Well, they also claim that Camacho was tired. I mean, that was the first round.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite true. Supporters of Solis have said that if the fight should go 5 rounds, after that, Solis' chances improve a great deal.
Look for an overhand left hand by Camacho.
That punch was short.
It was difficult to make calls with southpaws.
And Solis trying to go with an uppercut.
Solis, he doesn't want to get against the ropes. He shouldn't get against the ropes.
Combination by Solis. Best combination of the fight.
The guys are really putting their whole body behind each punch.
Solis, the right hook back with the left hand. Solis throwing a lot of combinations, I have to say that. Going downstairs on Camacho.
Solis Solis is still tight, sir, and he's winging his shot. He's starting to telegraph his punches. Also, that's a sign of, they're talking about being tired, that's a sign of fatigue or arm weariness.
And remember, this just the second round. Solis hitting and holding. And draws a warning for it.
Both fighters have to be very careful about coming in. They must be very cautious and use that jab first and work their way in. Because in rushing in, both are susceptible for lead-off right or lead-off left.
Rafael Solis is really fighting an intelligent fight so far, at least in the sense of trying to take advantage of his reach.
That's the lead-off. That was the lead-off punch that I was talking about. What happens, the fighter rushes in without putting the jab out first. He comes in with his head.
Camacho counter-punching very well. And once again, left to the heart.
If that left hand had land on the chin, it would probably have been over.
And you saw Camacho spin his man around to try to hit him from behind. Macho has done that before. And this is the end of the second round.
Let's take a look at Solis trying to use a straight left hand. Two southpaws fighting for a world championship. Sort of unusual. Hector Camacho seems to be handling the commotion here quite well. I think he's been a lot more composed and disciplined than we might have been led to believe.
I think that's absolutely right, Larry. And in fact, when Camacho has had mediocre performances in the past, they've always been because he clowned a little bit too much. He has had a couple of tough fights, one against Cubanito Perez, and Camacho turns his man around again, and the other against Blaine Dixon. And both times, really, it was because he clowned for the most part and held.
Well, Camacho is becoming more of a professional with every fight.
A little short with the left hand was Solis.
What's happening now is Camacho is slowly but surely wearing Solis down because I don't believe Solis has ever been at this pace.
Solis throwing a lot of arm punches.
You have to understand, you have to be doing something to match Camacho's speed. Defensively and offensively.
That hook was up on the gloves. Camacho circling his man now, and that is exactly what Billy Giles told him to do in the corner. You have the feeling Camacho's starting to measure his man a little bit here.
Well, he has control now, although it's still a very difficult fight for Camacho. What he should be doing now, Barry, at this point, is time to work that body because Camacho, he works the body very well. And it will make the fight easier for him because of Solis' height and reach advantage.
Solis really opens himself up when he throws those wild right hands. It's not a jab, it's really kind of a roundhouse right.
The way Solis is coming in, he's going to catch something on the chin. Plus, he's off balance. You notice when he throws, especially the right hook, he swings completely off balance, like there. That was a perfect example once again.
That right hand by Camacho was short. The uppercut actually got in. And you're very right, Rick. Solis really lunging with his punches now, and you have the feeling he's just sitting back. Camacho is just waiting for an opportunity.
Because what's happened now, Camacho is matching punch for punch and even started to double up on his punches.
There he went down and came up.
Right to the body and back to the head. Those are the type of combinations and punches that would do damage and be very effective against a fighter like Solis, who's awkward, as a matter of fact.
Solis also getting a little bit predictable with what he's doing. You see him coming in with a lunging right. That time he came in with an uppercut. End of the third round. We're going into Solis' corner. He may be built like the fifth ring post, but he's not.
Because he's got his guard too open. Keep on your opponent's tight. Don't fight with him. Fight seriously. You're a fighter. Don't smile. They take that into consideration. You're smiling. Don't try to hit one punch. Try to jab. Jab him, jab him.
What Solis' corner is telling him, this is a fight. Take it seriously.
Well, if he can't take this one seriously, I don't think there's any that he can.
I was going to say, Brad, was that necessary?
It's the fourth round.
Now we see some head-to-hand things by Camacho, which throws a fight off. It throws his timing and rhythm off.
That missed.
That's the punch Camacho has to watch out for, that left hand of Solis, because Solis throws his jab out, it comes across with that straight left hand. Too much movement from Solis.
Not quite as wild this round as he was in the third, however.
Well, he was a little tight in the early round. What we should see is more fluid punches and more natural punches thrown from both fighters. They both had time to loosen up. I was expecting a flash knockdown from Camacho, but Solis, he impressed me the first two rounds because he was very, very defensive.
Well, Solis not fighting a bad fight here, making a good show of himself. There was a low blow in there. And Camacho apologizes. Neither man is marked. This is the fourth round, coming down toward 1 minute remaining. Been a good fight so far. That was up on the gloves.
Camacho has to be careful about rushing in with his head.
And Camacho, the right-hand counterpunch.
That's what he needs to be doing, Barry. Keep that jab out, and every opportunity to take advantage of it.
Camacho also got an uppercut in close quarters. And there was a good left hand by Solis. And Solis another left hand. That was a short left hand. It backs Camacho off for the moment.
Solis has a very stiff jab.
That brings the crowd alive here in San Juan. There's Camacho, the right hand again. Some of the best punching in the fight in that round.
That was Solis' best round.
Beat him to the punch. Stop the jab.
He's been on the initiative more than we expected of him.
You jab back. That's only one,
Camacho
two.
still hasn't started his in and out sort of awkward
I
style.
jab him the stomach, you want to jab him. I drop him.
Here's a three-play. There's that long left hand landed by Solis. That probably was the difference in the scoring of that fight. Here it is from ground level. Something we hadn't noticed before was that Camacho immediately hit him back with his own right hand. This the 5th round. And actually in the 4th round, Ray, another thing is that Solis went to the right-hand jab rather than that looping right hand that he'd been trying with before.
Well, he'll find that it's far more effective throwing it straight than trying to loop it. Because keeping Camacho in the center of the ring and keeping him at bay will help him out a great deal if he wants to land with that overhand left.
Camacho very quick on the counter punches.
Camacho's currently is making it a little difficult for Solis because he's starting to fight that left hand.
That was a good right hand by Camacho.
Camacho could be hurt from a punch by Solis.
I don't think really either man was hurt there. Solis just coming on the offense.
Yes, I think he is, Barry, because he's backing away, and that's sign of hurt.
And there was a left to the heart.
That was a beautiful lead-off left by Camacho.
Just a terrific punch by Camacho.
Now watch what happens with Camacho. He's going to take advantage of it, and watch the punches that he's able to throw.
And if he wasn't hurt before, he is hurt now. And another right to the body.
Solis is out of it now.
And he's still got a long way to go. Not yet halfway through the 5th round. Solis bleeding from the mouth and just trying to weather the storm. 1:23 remaining in the round.
There's enough time to get Solis out of there. Camacho has to be careful not to out-punch himself.
And there was another good left hand. That's all. This one's going to be over. And he stayed down. That's all. Enough. This one is over in 5. And once he had his man hurt, Camacho did not let up for a minute. He really has the killer instinct, no question.
It appeared to me, Barrett, that Camacho was hurt, but evidently he wasn't. And he caught Solis with that straight left hand and put him down.
It was just a terrific punch to the heart. Right on the chest is where it looked like that punch landed.
It was a very powerful punch. Well, here we see Solis rushing in. As I stated before, he's susceptible for lead-off punches.
Now that really wasn't the punch that did the damage to start things, though. It was a left hand to the chest. Let's take a look at another. This again is another look at the punch that put him down.
Well, once again, there's that straight left hand of Camacho. And with Camacho's speed, Bird, he can do this and get out of trouble at the same time.
So you can see the predictable bedlam in the ring here. Camacho very impressive, all told.
I tell you what, I'm very impressed with Camacho's performance is the fact he was composed and he was professional in the ring tonight.
Yeah, he really was. He lost a lot of show, but I'll tell you what also, I think a lot of that had to do with Sugar Ray Leonard. I know you had an opportunity to talk to him a few times.
Well, since I've been here, I had a chance, opportunity to speak with Camacho, and all the animation is fine and dandy, but when you're in the ring, you have to be very serious.
And that is his mother, a kiss from his mother, and his sister also in the ring, and his brother. And I think this is a win that he could take home and be very proud of. Let's take a look at the last knockdown.
Well, once again, being professional, Camacho took advantage of the opportunity. He had Solis in trouble, and Solis in bad shape at this point here.
There was no way he was going down. Here's another look.
Watch the speed of the punches. Punches coming left and right. They're catching Solis on the back and the side of the face. Solis was just in bad shape, Barry.
Once he has his man in trouble, there's no question he's going to finish him off.
And the fact that his hand speed, he takes full advantage of his natural and God-gifted talent.
So a very impressive win, and I think also it's fair to say that he beat a pretty good fighter tonight.
Well, it's fair to say that Camacho's in there with Rafael Solis, who I say now was a worthy challenger.
All right, right, we're going to be going up to the ring in just a moment here. Larry Merchant trying to get himself in a position where he can talk to the winner. And right now, let's go up to Larry Merchant, who is with Macho Camacho.
Okay, Barry, here we have Hector Camacho. Hector, it looked like he hit you his best shot about a minute before you finished him and got you just upset and you came back at him.
Well, yes, he did call me pretty well. Nothing really dangerous, but I felt that he hit me. You know, he let me know he hit me. And it was a good shot, and it made me come. It's like, the better you are, the best come out of me.
Do you think he got careless after that he thought that he would have you and left himself open?
No, because he was trying to protect the fight. And I was just beating him with my jab and a lot of sweet movement. And it was not a time because he was beginning to slow down.
Did you find him very awkward and difficult to go with in the first 3 or 4 rounds?
Yes, at first, you know, but, you know, I was too careless, you know, and I won.
Hector. Hector, it seems that Hector, people think of you as a wild, crazy kid, but in the ring you seem pretty disciplined.
Well, it's like, you know, it's time for pleasure and it's time for business. And when it comes down to business, I get pretty mean, because I'm the macho man.
What are your plans in the future? Do you want to meet Ray Mancini, or you want to read Aaron Pryor?
Well, Mancini's my big dream fight, because that's the money fight. There's nobody out there but me and him. He don't got no business fighting Aaron Pryor. If Aaron Pryor did what he did to Aguero, then imagine what he did to Mancini.
Do you think you can fight Aaron Pryor?
Well, no time, you know. Everything is timing with me. I want to be a 3-time champion. I'll go after Mancini. And then later on in my career, by the age of 23, I'll give Aaron Pryor if that's what it takes to be a 3-time champion.
Thank you very much.
But hey, nevertheless, Pryor's my main man. I dig him.
All right, thank you, Hector Camacho. Well, some fighters do seem invincible in the ring, but nobody is invincible. We saw that when Marvin Hagler fought Roberto Duran. Everybody has a fighter who can give him a lot of problems. Someday, this man here, Hector Camacho, will come up against a boxer that will somehow neutralize and thwart him. But he did what he had to do in his own way tonight, just as Marvin Hagler did what he had to do against the KG veteran Roberto Duran. And you're going to see it all right here on HBO in a few moments. Barry?
Okay, thank you very much, Larry Merchant. Let me get your final impressions of Macho Camacho tonight. He was very impressive, and as you mentioned, maybe more important than anything else, he just seems to be maturing as a fighter.
Well, Brian, it was indeed a tough fight and a very impressive win for Camacho. Solis made it very tough for Camacho with his height and reach advantage. But Camacho, as usually, comes out on top.
You know, they call Macho Camacho the dead-end kid of the 80s. Well, I'll tell you, there's no dead end for Macho Camacho. Streets are going to be paved with gold for him. There are some big money fights ahead of him, and he had a very big one tonight. Well,